Hi everyone, we're going to do a somatic practice for the morning. Today, you're going to need one prop or tool, and that is going to be either a blanket or a towel, something that you can wrap around your body. And yeah, so go ahead and grab that. So hopefully this video helps you start your day in more of a regulated state. If you're like me, mornings are kind of the time I actually feel most dysregulated. So it's really nice if I can incorporate a somatic practice in the morning as often as possible. And think of these practices as hygiene, something you want to do on a regular basis. Because our lives nowadays are just, there's a lot of stimulation and a lot going on, and it's important to take some time and drop into the body and unwind a little bit. All right, so coming into the body, maybe you like to have your eyes closed, maybe you like to have them open, it's up to you. And just giving the thighs a little bit of a rub, just to remind you where they are, and feeling the seat, shift your weight a little bit. And grab that towel or blanket. And what we're gonna do is we're just gonna wrap ourselves up. So bring it around the tops of the shoulders and wrap yourself up nice and tight. And just notice how that feels. So this is giving our body some containment. So as you take a breath in and you feel the blanket get a little tighter or the towel, just notice how that feels. Notice how it feels right around the shoulders. And then bring your attention to your bum. And just notice how that feels. And then back up to the shoulders. Taking a breath. And this can be really effective to use when you're feeling like big emotions. Whether that's big joy or excitement or grief or anger, this can offer containment and just help the body feel a little more safe and secure when we have big sensations come up. Just notice how that feels right now. Taking another breath, and let's loosen that and then bring it down to maybe like a little more around the waist, and let's just see how that feels to have that containment in that area. And taking a breath into the back and into the belly, that area where we've got our blanket or our towel wrapped around. Just notice how that feels. Keep breathing. Good. And now let's bring our blanket one more time just up top to the tops of across the tops of our shoulders. And you can remember our eyes open or closed, see what you like best, or you can explore. And let's just bring a little bit of a rock in. And if you're feeling like a little stiff, I'm going to say don't lean into the stiffness. Just rock where it feels really good. We're going to stay within what's comfortable for our body and just enjoy that. Swaying side to side, noticing the weight shifting from the left to the right, and noticing how you know you're shifting to the left to the right. Can you feel the weight shift? How the spine moves? Maybe if you've got your eyes open, you notice that there's kind of a swaying motion happening. But notice how your body knows what you're doing, how you sense it. You can slow down and you can get even more little data rich information from the movement. Okay, and then just letting that blanket go or the towel and just moving that off to the side. And next thing we're going to do is we're going to do a little bit of sound. So the first thing we're going to do is the VOO breath. So that's VOO. And it kind of sounds like a foghorn and it's coming from kind of low in the belly. So we're going to make that sound, and this can be a very grounding sound. And then we're going to pause and just notice in the body. And if you'd like, you can take a hand and put it on the belly or the chest. And just notice if that's a yes or a no. If it's a no, then just drop the hands. Notice how the body feels and take a breath in. And pausing and just noticing how your body feels. Could you feel the vibration? What do those areas feel like now? Okay, let's do another one. So again, if you'd like to place the hands on the belly or the chest, or you can hover them, notice, or you can place them to the side. Notice what feels comfortable. I like to do this because I can feel the vibrations in my tummy and my chest. So taking a breath in. And just taking a moment to notice. Take a big scoop of nothing here. Just notice how you feel. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to make a humming sound, like and we're looking to hear or feel the vibration across the chest. So when we do this, I want you to just bring to mind maybe like a pleasant place outdoors that you really enjoy, or a person or an animal that just is pleasant to think about. So bringing that to mind, noticing where you feel that. How do you know it's pleasant to think about? And we're going to hum. So taking a breath in. I'm letting that rest. Noticing if things feel the same or if there's any shifts. And let's take a breath in and do it again. Good, and let that rest. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to do a physiological sigh. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a breath in, and then we're going to take another sip of air at the top, and then we're just going to sigh it out. Okay, so taking a breath in, and a sip. And letting that rest. And taking a breath in, a sip. And letting that rest. Good. Just give the body a little wiggle. Now we're going to open the eyes and we're going to orient to our space. I do this a lot at the beginning of my videos, but I wanted to do it in the middle when we're feeling like we're just a little more in the body and hopefully feeling a little bit more present with our space. So opening the eyes and taking in the room and noticing what catches your eye or what is maybe pleasant. Or just noticing colors, textures, the way the light catches different objects in the room. And just slowly letting the eyes guide the head and neck. Feeling the neck turn. And you can turn your head to whatever side you'd like. And this is really important for signaling to our body that our space where we are right now is safe. And if it wasn't, we would see something and we would do something about it, right? If it wasn't safe. So when we look around, excuse me, and we see that our space is okay for us to be in, that signals to the body that we can shift into a ventral vagal state or a parasympathetic state, just meaning we're feeling a little more calm, a little more in our bodies and present. Okay, now let's look the other way. And if you're having any trouble engaging with what you're looking at, you could actually just either out loud or in your mind, you can say hello to it. So like, hello plant, hello picture, hello pink flower, things like that. And it can be really helpful sometimes to just hear your voice in the space that you're in. Good, so remember just letting the eyes float around the room. Noticing if you spontaneously take a deep breath like I just did, that can happen when the body's coming into more regulation or more into a parasympathetic state. And just turning and looking right behind you. And up. And all the way back. Such a great tool. Use it all the time. Especially when you're in a new space or you arrive somewhere, it can just help settle the body. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to notice how the mind and the body can influence each other. So our body actually heavily influences the mind. About 80% of the information is going up to our mind. So that's why somatics are so important and can help shift the state of our mind. And we're going to kind of experiment going the other way this time. So bringing awareness to your arms, maybe wiggle them around, move them. How do the arms feel? Wiggle the fingers. And I want you to imagine that your arms are full of stones, big, heavy stones. Okay? Imagine maybe what that feels like, what that looks like. And we've got those big, heavy stone arms. And I want you to start to lift your arms. Those arms full of stones. And notice what that feels like. Okay, and then lower the arms. Remembering they're filled with big, heavy rocks or stones. Okay, and then just rest the arms. And now they're just arms again. So give yourself a little wiggle. Just regular old arms, flesh and bones. And now I want you to pretend that your arms are like big feathers. So maybe they're like a big peacock feather or something like that. So how does that feel? What do they look like? How do they move? Now that you have that in your mind's eye, bringing up the arms and then bringing them down, bringing those big feather arms down. Good, and then just letting that rest. And notice if you felt any differences between those two exercises, between visualizing the arms as rocks or visualizing the arms as feathers, and if there was a shift. For me, there is a shift. One feels easier and lighter, the feathers. And this can just show how sometimes our perspective can really shift how we feel. And so it can be really helpful to orient to things that maybe you're finding easier and more pleasant. Well, of course, acknowledging difficult things, but just showing how a shifted perspective can change the way you feel. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is we're just going to do like kind of a natural stretch. So what we're going to do is we're going to arch the back, tilt the pelvis forward, bringing the shoulders back, and let's twist a little bit. So let's take our right arm. You can bend it like this and kind of just stretch back like you naturally would. So what would it feel like if this was a yawn? Feeling that tension, breathing into it, and letting it go. Slowly. And let's do it on the same side. And again, so bringing the right arm up, arching the back, tilting the pelvis forward, and twisting to the right. And just feeling that nice tension, nothing should hurt, across the back, as if we were yawning. And slowly let it go. Feel the body unwind. Good. Taking a pause, big scoop of nothing, and letting things integrate and settle. Take a breath if you want. Lengthen out your exhale if you can. Okay, let's go the other way. So taking up the left arm, twist, arching the back, tilting the pelvis forward, and twisting to the left. You can look behind you if you'd like. And getting that nice tension as if you're naturally having a stretch or a yawn in the morning. And slowly bring it back into a neutral position. A little scoop of nothing. Okay, and let's do it again. So left arm up and arching the back, tilting the pelvis forward, twisting to the left. You can look behind you, feeling that nice tension, that comfortable tension in the back, as if you were taking a nice big yawn in the morning and waking up the body. Okay, and back into neutral. Okay, and just letting that rest. Taking a moment to notice, how does the jaw feel? How does the neck and the shoulders feel? If you're feeling an area of tension and you tend to hyper focus on it, like me, notice. I like to focus in on where I feel tension, allow it, and then ask myself, what else? What else is there? My hands feel really warm. Maybe my legs, there's not a lot of tension there. They feel kind of just neutral, or there's a smooth feeling to them. Noticing how the belly feels, the hips. Maybe give like a little circle to the hips. See how that feels. Go the other way. And the last thing we're going to do is we're just going to wake up the body. So let's start with the arms. We're going to pat ourselves down. So pick an arm. Pat yourself down to the hand and then up the arm. Waking up the nerve endings here in our proprioception. Let's switch arms. And proprioception just means your ability to sense like where the edges of your body are and where you're moving. Because sometimes we don't really feel that, we just do it. So bringing a lot of awareness to the body. Let's pat the neck. You can just do this with the tips of your fingers. I love this. It feels so good. Go up the scalp. And we can go across the forehead with the tips of our fingers, like it's pitter-patter raining on our skin. Cheeks, the jaw. And then let's do the chest. So I'm gonna watch out for the microphone here, but you go nuts. You can pat, which actually feels really good. So pat across the chest, the front's the shoulder, and let's do the belly. And everything's an invitation. If you don't want to do it, if it is not feeling good, just skip it. And I actually would celebrate that. I'm celebrating your no. Make a loose fist and then kind of like circles and go across the back, the lower back, whatever you can reach, the sides of the body, the tops of the hips. It feels really good on the side there. And if there's a place that feels good, stay there. Go for it. And let's go down the leg. So patting down the thighs. And take a look at what you're patting down. Orient yourself to your body. Wiggle the toes. Pat up the leg one more time. Pause for a second. Notice how one leg feels compared to the other. And then let's do the other leg. And if patting is a little too stimulating for you, you can always do a nice brush or a squeeze. And they all do the same thing. This is just what I prefer, at least today. Okay, and then pat it. Oh, give those toes a wiggle. And then pat up the leg again. Good. Okay. And then let's just bring our attention to the center of our body. And you can take your hand just like I am, and kind of just go up and down. Sensing. This really helps me get into my body. I don't know why, it just works. Okay, and then taking a breath in, bring the arms up, reach up high, and then just drawing a boundary around your body, pushing the hands out, breathe out. And that's it for today. I hope you have a wonderful morning. Let me know how this video landed, and we'll see you next time.